These were the flashiest vehicles. Well, that's a problem during the Great Depression when people are standing in food lines. They don't know where money is coming from. They don't know how to feed their children. And the Model J is flying around. So that was one of the things that kind of hindered the company a bit from moving forward. Really, Auburn's, Cords, and Duesenbergs were all playing off of one another to support the company in all of its sales. Unfortunately, after and during the Great Depression, by 1937, the losses at the company were significant, and the decision was made to close. And they closed everything. There were no pink slips. Literally, the doors were shut down, and people were out of work. And that's including, down in Indianapolis, here in Auburn. Vehicle manufacturing also happened at the Central Manufacturing Plant in Connersville, Indiana. So it was a layoff of thousands of people. After that, Cord went on to different business ventures. It was during his time with the Auburn Automobile Company that he started the Cord Corporation. And the Cord Corporation was a holding company, a subsidiary for all of the different companies that Cord owned. So we have a list of over 60 companies. Actually, I have the list in front of me, but people will be amazed about what he owned. He owned American Airways, for example. It was under Cord's leadership that it was changed to American Airlines. He owned several, actually, different airline companies. He owned Stinson Airplanes, which is why we have two Stinsons. Actually, one of them is currently being restored. It was owned by the Auburn Automobile Company in 1930. And we have a photo when the building opened in 1930 and a Stinson right there in that corner. So we're replicating that history. He had central manufacturing, as I had mentioned, New York Shipbuilding Corporation. He went into real estate, television studios, radio stations. He went into uranium mining, then railroad transport. Then again, with the ships that he went into Checker Cab Company and the Yellow Cab Company, Safety Cab Company, National Transportation Company. You kind of name it. And if it's in the transportation field, Cord was involved with it. So much so that when the Securities Exchange Commission was established in 1936, one of the first people that they were investigating was E.O. Cord and the Cord Corporation. So it was during that time that Cord did sell off his over 20% of the Cord Corporation at that time, walking away with about, I want to say it was about $2.5 million at that time. But he would continue, and he would move on to Beverly Hills, where he actually owned a plot of land, and he created a 56-room mansion that was called Cord Haven. And he had a cattle ranching industry and cattle ranching farm or ranch as well in Nevada that was called the Circle L Ranch. And he was a Nevada state senator. He went on to do amazing things. We have photos with him of JFK. Cord created this amazing legacy within the transportation world. So we're looking again at Auburn's, Cord's, Duesenberg's. Our physical museum building that we're in wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Cord. He's the one that hired the architect from Fort Wayne to design it, and he's the one who built it, and it was opened up in 1930. We could possibly not have the Cord 810 and 812 that I haven't even gone into, but the hidden headlights on there that were designed, and the coffin nose grill that you have there, and the louvers, and the fuel filler cap, and the Bendix transmission that's on that, the semi-automatic transmission. There were so many things that Cord created, or that people that worked for Cord created. And he charged his employees hard. I mean, he made them work hard and do more with less. It was very lean all the time. Even, for example, you're creating the grandest Duesenberg Model J, and then he says, we need a radiator cap for that shows that it's a Model J. But you don't have any money to design it, and you basically have to do it with parts that we have. And that's exactly what they did. You can tell it original Duesenberg J cap because you can actually see the seams where it's welded the Duesenberg onto the little holder. So again, without cord, I really think that the transportation world would look so different. God knows you and I wouldn't be sitting here and talking. We wouldn't have the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Automobile Museum. We wouldn't have the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Club. We wouldn't have the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Festival. I mean, it's almost like collateral damage when you think, what would happen if E.O. Cord wasn't here?
Well, what a legacy, for sure.
And an extreme legacy, both of his, and we obviously give great respect and commend the people that work with Cord too. There are lots of people, thousands of people behind the scenes that work to make this all happen. However, we're looking at the leadership of Cord and what he did.
Unbelievable, and not bad for your first day. You know, what can I tell you?
Yeah, you know.
Amazing. You did really well studying.
This has been Jeff Stearns, Connected Through Cars.